Hey, great exciting news this afternoon as the CR, the Congressional Budget Bill, which ensures that the government does not shut down September 30th, because we really don't have enough other things going on, is now getting resolved. And in there is going to be a bailout of cows. Yes, really. Cows are getting stimulus. Cows are getting stimulus before us. They sort of move their way in front of us. It's utter nonsense. Mitch McConnell and his lobster bill was not happy. The lobsters were looking and like, Bessie got her stimulus before us. How dare her? Although she is a catch. This is really sort of crazy. Apparently, when it came to Nancy Pelosi, the cows were first course. Top sirloin. Uh, and the lobsters are sort of, side dishes at the moment. So what are we? We need our stimulus checks. Well, unlike cows, we're not going to push over. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE, and thank you for joining us. We're not being pushed over, unlike cows. This is second stimulus check and stimulus package updates for today on afternoons LALATE. Thank you for joining me. It's a great day, a lot of great news. I'm very excited for you. Big developments, which I'll be going over in this video about why the CR's passage is such great news for us. New evidence of move to support to get the bill finalized and up for a vote, the Problem Solvers bill. This is also really exciting. The efforts of tagging those congressional leaders who are up for re-election. More about that as well. And finally, some very shocking breaking economic data minutes ago, which you need to be really queued for. And this is all really good for your second stimulus checks. Also, I'll be answering some of your 1,634 comments from yesterday. We went up about 400 comments, so that's incredible. If you're new to this channel, well, certainly subscribe. This is the fastest growing community on YouTube for a reason. We're at 267,000 followers now. The Purple Power community is really trying to push this bill through, and I think we're going to get it done. So go to the Frontage channel and subscribe and drop your comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Hit that subscribe and alert button so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Afternoons at LLA has 4 videos, so you got to stay with me. I got this video for you now about the check. 30 minutes from now is hazard pay, that $10,000. That could be yours if you worked as a frontline worker during this pandemic. 30 minutes after that is a video about unemployment. You gotta watch that if you're wondering about your unemployment benefits. I have new data out minutes ago. And finally, rent. Additionally, on rent, I'm going to go a little bit over EIDL and also stocks, because people are asking me to go over some stocks. A lot of great stuff for today. Also like this video, because it's going to be the best darn video you're going to see this afternoon on the check. All right, let me get to the great details. The great details as we start this afternoon is that there's a big new move to get your second stimulus check, which is part of the second stimulus package, to a vote in the Problem Solvers bill, which was introduced last week as a bipartisan bill from both the Republicans and the Democrats. And now there's even more impetus, more movement this afternoon among moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats to get a vote. And there's renewed optimism after the events of last night. This is just so exciting. If you watch mornings at LA, I detailed a little bit of it. Let me get to the details right now. There was a lot of things happening, and one of the things that was deeply problematic was the CR. There is a bill that they had to do to balance the federal budget to ensure that there's not a government shutdown on September 30th, and that bill has nothing to do with stimulus checks. But if you have a shutdown government, you don't have stimulus checks, and if you have a shutdown government that's plaguing your attention span, you're not getting a stimulus. Well, what's great about it is twofold. One, it was done overnight. It's now in the Senate where the lobsters are sort of clawing at it. It was passed in the House overnight in a late night vote. That's incredibly great news. The second thing that's really great is the manner in which it was done. I am just so excited about this, and you should be too. It was done by Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin, the chief negotiators, in the second stimulus package behind closed doors without the nuances of press releases and press trashing of one another. They got it done after a day in which things were very heated. And this is just incredible, great news. They worked as adults. They got it done. They made concessions. Concessions is the key to getting a second stimulus package done. And this is, God bless them. They did something good, finally. And what they did was they made concessions. First, he gave her money for children going hungry. I'm not kidding. So the question is whether she's going to still use that line. He gave her a lot of money for children going hungry. In turn, she gave money for the cows. She gave money for the farmers who needed money for the cows. So, and I'm not belittling the situation. It's great news. So that is incredible, great news. And the manner in which they did this, and now the outcome, which is it's all cleared. We're going to focus on one thing and one thing only: second stimulus checks. Now, is that the focus? That's the next question up for grabs. Absolutely, categorically, yes. In the last 24 hours, there has been chatter left and right from Republicans and Democrats. Get this done. Get this done. And when the news broke about the deal for the CR and the vote in the House approving overnight, there was discussions from both sides that says now we can finally get the second stimulus package done and voted upon. Now, this is the legislative path of two possibilities. More about that in a second. There's also the executive order path. There's literally three different paths, so we're all going to focus on, and I'm going to get to them shortly. First, the legislative path. Most forces still believe, including the forces of this channel, that it's going to be the problem solvers bill with things added to it that's going to be pushed for a vote. Why? Because it's bipartisan. A. B, it's a lot of money. It's 1.5. C, to the extent that it doesn't have anything in it, everyone says let's just add stuff to it. D, it's very simple. It's not complex. It's not convoluted. It's very, very clear unto itself. E, the president is in favor of. The president came out in favor of the provisions, the amount, and then F, the president said, okay, it's at 1.5. I support it, but I'll go higher. Absolutely, categorically incredible. Now, the other possibility, which I'm really not going to have us focus on, is the old July 2020 scenario, which is Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi outside the confines of cameras negotiate to get a second stimulus package done by using a lot of different bills, whatever they're called, and come to some agreement and walk out of a room and say, amen, we have an agreement. That may be happening, but we have really nothing to be involved with that because they really have sort of ignored us through the entire process. And moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats are not focusing on those at that path at the moment because it omits a lot of stuff. It omits EIDL and PPP, and on the other side, it doesn't give enough for this and enough for that, so it's just all over the place. So the great news as we focus today is the problem solvers bill. You need to be on social media tagging the problem solvers, so showing your support for everything legislative for this bill. Get the vote. You need to push for the vote. Earlier today on LALATE Mornings, I tweeted both the image of all senators who are up for re-election and all House representatives for up for re-election. I even read them on camera. I won't be reading them all on camera today, but at the time of this video's airing, I will be on Twitter at LALATE, all one word, tweeting the image of all House and Senate seats that are up for grabs, that are contentious race, that you need to tweet those people. Give us a stimulus, or we'll take your seat. Seat for stimulus. That's SEAT, the number 4, stimulus, all together, hashtag. They need to be told clear that they don't give the vote, they're going to be gone. Ironically, it's working. It's not ironically. Truthfully, it's working because that was the major discussion over the weekend from congressional leaders, both Republicans and Democrats, that the pressure's on. Races that were almost 20 points apart before are now very close because the pressure you're doing. The polls show the races dead heats in some states that were not supposed to be close races because they haven't given you stimulus. So this is incredible, great news. The power of the purple is absolutely categorically working. Now, the next thing that you need to focus on is, of course, executive order. There's still the path to do executive order. The executive order, you need to ramp up that heat and you need to be tagging Mnuchin, Meadows, and the president, Larry Kudlow, Pete Navarro, and say, hey, get it done. Get it done, because the time frame to get executive order to get it done is narrowing. It's narrowing. It's not going to keep on going on forever if you want to get these stimulus checks out and in our hands before we vote, Mr. President. If you don't, then guess who we're going to vote for. Let me go over the nuances of the executive order right now before I get to the nuances of the bill. First, the nuances of the executive order. Well, the great news is the president has detailed for us that he has the money. I have reported to you that legally he can use the money. And then 3, the routing times are incredibly great for using the money. And 4, Larry Kudlow confirmed all my reporting earlier this week. Actually, it was yesterday. So the president over 2 weeks ago on a Friday said that he had identified $300-something billion of unused funds from CARES Act 1 that he wants to use for stimulus checks. A, can he do it? Absolutely. B, is it inside Treasury? No, it's not. It's inside another agency. I predict it's inside of It's inside of SBA. It's PPP unused money. Next, does he need congressional authority? No. So why doesn't he send it out? I don't know. Why hasn't he done it yet? I don't know. When will he do it? He needs to do it quite soon. Will he do it this weekend? I don't think he'll do it this weekend, because Saturday he's announcing the Supreme Court nominee. And so I think his focus needs to be on this right now. And you need to tell Mnuchin, Meadows, Navarro, Kudlow, Trump, get this done now. Finally, the great news overnight was that Larry Kudlow said, hey, the president can repurpose REPURPOSE, repurpose money for stimulus checks. Who said that first to you? Me. I was the first to tell you that the president can repurpose the money for you. I reported to you over 2 weeks ago, and I identified an additional $200 billion is also available for repurposing for purposes of enhanced unemployment benefits, FPUC. More about that in a second. So this is all great news. You need to be on social media and really pushing it. Always use the hashtag PurplePower as one word. All right, let me get to now the issue about the checks legislatively. Legislatively, the Purple Power needs to keep this up. I know we're on day 3, but we need to get a vote, and the vote is looming. The vote may... This is really good news out of nowhere. This is why you stay with me to the end of this video. The vote may have out of nowhere have the airlines into our timeline and helping us again. What? Yeah. Remember 2 days ago, remember on Sunday, I told you that the airlines were helping us get to the finish line because they had a new deadline. A deadline of October 1st, and that we had to get this vote to October 1st because the airlines were going into our stimulus package with us, with the check, and going in there, and we're all getting to the finish line together. And then on Monday, those two horrible thinking minds, Susan Collins and Senator Wicker, I love his chairs, said, hey, let's give a standalone bill to the airlines. I'm like, not a standalone airline. No, don't do that. And he suddenly extracted them from us and giving them their own path to freedom and path to stimulus. Well, minutes ago, Southwest Airline CEO Gary Keller said he's optimistic that Congress will pass a COVID-19 relief that includes the airlines. Wait a second. I love that. So suddenly, in talking to CNBC, Gary Kelly, CEO of Southwest Airlines, is now talking about the airlines being back in the stimulus package and pushing us all to the finish line. We're hopeful they come to agreement and get this passed and help the economy and obviously help the travel industry. At this point, if we cut our flights too much, so we're going to cut the entire itineraries, the revenues lost, accelerate much faster. We have to strike the right balance. This is insanely great news. Suddenly, we may be back on that October 1st deadline. If you knew this channel in the last 2 days, let me explain what this is. The airlines have a deadline of October 1st. They have to make a determination about workers by federal law. Why? The federal law requires them to decide whether they're going to hire or rehire or fire furloughed workers that were previously furloughed by October 1st. One airline made extension for just a few of them. It's less than 1,000 people. And that deadline of October 1st means the president has to sign it into law by October 1st. They've said this in their letters to Congress, which I read on camera on Saturday. That means that a House vote would have to be on September 30th, a Senate vote would have to be on September 29th, and that means we would be on the finish line by all this by October 1st. Insanely great news. If that's true, based upon Steve Mnuchin's representations about how fast you can get a stimulus check from Treasury, that means you would get a stimulus check on October 11th if everything so disclaimed occurs, that the airlines are part of the stimulus package, that we get the vote, that the vote is done by by the 30th, that the president signs on the 1st, and that Mnuchin's right about his routing times. October 11th? Oh, let's get it done. Let's get it done. This is really, really, really good news. There's other data which I need to tell you about. Robert Redfield, CDC director, came out minutes ago and said 90% of the U.S. population could get COVID. Okay, not good. Another factor I need to tell you is trade wars. I don't like China-U.S. trade wars. I don't like it. It can implode the economy any more worse than we are now. Tesla suing the U.S. government, and U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer over over tariffs with China, calling them unconstitutional, wants them ruled void. Medicare. You got to listen to this one. If you're on Medicare and you're hoping to get the COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available, you may not get it for free because of a new report at CNBC. If officials are realizing they don't get a good solution going back to Congress and getting the statutory language changed, the problem is due to Medicare rules, you may not get the vaccine for free and may have to pay a pretty penny for it. Not good. Let me get to some of your 1,600 questions from yesterday. See how many I could do. Daniel Watkins, this is what American citizens get when nothing but the rich people in Congress. They don't care about anything but themselves. Corby, I just feel like they're all incompetent no matter what. These people are too old. They move their steps. Mariah, I wish they would hurry up and pass a $1,200 bill for SSDI and Social Security for Virginia and everyone else. Let me go over the Problem Solvers bill, which I haven't said today, but I say it all the time. $1,200 individual checks, $2,400 married couples wouldn't be taken out for child support. Not taken out for child support. Dependents would get a check of $500. I don't think that's good, and that's why I'm tweeting the Problem Solver saying, hey, you need to do $1,200 dependent checks. FPUC would be at $450 for 8 weeks, and then 5 weeks at $600. Vince Ledoux. Oh, and it would not be retroactive. That needs to be fixed as well. It needs to be retroactive. Vince Ledoux. I like the cow puns. I never heard of so many moving words. They're utterly wonderful grammar. I love that. It's Bjorn. I know it's only Tuesday, but get that vote done. Amen. Robert. So Nancy's scared Trump is going to win, so she wants to impeach him. She's nuts. Mona Klein. Talk. Actions speak louder than words. Do it. Kathy. How is it supposed to be the most rich and independent country cannot even give a $2,000 check to people? John Seacrest. Somebody needs to get that ice cream. Melody Wolf. I'm one of your constituents, and I'm 6 of the most important words you can say to a congressman. Amen. Tell them you're a constituent and you don't support what they're doing. They need to get the vote out for the stimulus. Michael Watts. See what it's talking about. See how fast it comes up with the bill for the airlines. Crazy. Roxanne Schmote. I don't know anyone else. The tension I feel every day is killing me. Stay calm. We're going to get through it together. You're part of the Purple Power community. Stay positive, stay focused, and stay motivated. L.L. Lewis, absolutely dysfunctional Congress. Michelle Marine, so proud of the Purple Power. Rock on. Carolyn, Trump doesn't care anymore. Sherry, we can do this. Brenda, we can do this. Barb, I love the cow introduction. William, we got to get this going. Bonnie, retroactive and $2,000 a month. Boy, a lot of great comments, a lot of great thoughts. If you have questions to today's video, drop in the comments below. I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. You can see there's a lot of news today. I apologize if I went a little bit fast in this video. I'm trying to get everything done and not run 35 minutes on this video. Also, go to the Funnest channel and subscribe. I mean, this is the best darn community on social media. Where else is a bunch of people trying to help each other, try to get us all to the finish line and try to get what we need right now. Also, like this video because this is going to be the best afternoon video you have on the stimulus check. But stay with me next for Hazard Pay. That $10,000 which could land in your bank account. Amen. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay violent.